go back to your childhood, where did you grow up? And I know I read a little bit about your dad. You loved working with him and building stuff with him. And he was also a lot like you, an adventurer and entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, I think it's more so that I'm a lot like him. He grew up in England, was riding his bike from one end of Scotland to one end of Wales and down to England and in his teenage years, and then he ended up getting into the Royal Navy during World War II. And when he was on leave, he would come back to England every 3 months and he would buy a brand new motorbike. Of course, every time he got back, he'd find out about friends of his that had died in the war, and he really wanted to live his life to the fullest because he never knew if he was going to come back. And so
Mm.
he was always off on adventures, climbing peaks in the Yorkshire Moors and the Lake District. Actually met my mum in the late 40s, and then they immigrated to Australia in 1950. And my dad had multiple businesses in Australia and England and Sweden, and he would always travel back to England every year on business, buying and selling machines. And then he would take off down into Spain and buy bottles of wine and swords and all kinds of stuff and smuggle it back into Australia in the bottom of the sump of engines and machines that he would buy. I think he was really the first adventurepreneur. He
Yeah.
did a great job of combining that adventure spirit that he had and the entrepreneurial spirit. And I guess, that's what's in my DNA. You could say I was cursed with it, or you could say I was gifted with it. Some
Uh-huh.
people look at it as a curse, some others people look at it as a gift, but really that's kind of where it came from.